I know the start of the year can leave many photographers feeling anxious about slow bookings. Honestly, those thoughts get to me sometimes too. But if you're serious about business growth, being productive during slower seasons can actually lead to more success during busier seasons if you're doing the right things. So let's talk about 5 things that you can be doing during these cold winter months to prepare your business for your next busy season. Hey friend, I'm Erin, military spouse and teacher turned photographer, and I love helping fellow Milspouse photographers build businesses that thrive despite frequent moves. I'm so glad to have you here, and I'm excited to chat through these to-dos with you. Up first, let's get your online portfolio up to date. If it's been a while since you've refreshed your images, now would be a good time. Now, if the thought of combing through all of your images from your last busy season leaves you feeling a bit overwhelmed, it sounds to me like you also need a system for updating your portfolio in the future. So let's talk about what that can look like so your future self will thank you. I do this as the last part of my workflow for every shoot. I actually have 2 to-dos in my Studio Ninja workflow that tells me to add my favorite images from the session to a portfolio folder, as well as a social media options folder. So then when it's time for me to make these portfolio updates, I just go to that folder, take the images, resize them in BlogStomp, and then I can take them right into Showit to update my portfolio. Once I'm inside Showit, I'm carefully looking at the composition of my images so that I can figure out which ones I should pair next to each other. So most importantly, I'm looking at their edges. I want complicated edges next to simpler edges. I think that looks nicer as you scroll through. I'm also looking to pair tight shots next to more pulled back shots so that we don't have lots of images kind of competing with each other next to each other. So I'm taking a look at that as I go through. You can see some examples of that here on the screen. And then once I've figured out how I want to arrange the pictures, my last step is to write the alt text. Now remember, Google reads the alt text for all of your images, and that impacts your SEO. So you want to be sure that when you're writing the alt text, you're using the keyword for that web page authentically to help you with your SEO. Okay, once your portfolio is up to date, I want you to audit your client booking process. This is certainly not going to be top of mind during the height of a busy season, but you could be missing out on potential clients if you don't realize that there's a hiccup somewhere along the way with your booking process. So I want you to do this in 2 places. First, you're going to start with your desktop. I want you to imagine that you are one of your potential clients and you've just landed on your homepage. So you're on your computer, you pull up your webpage, you're on the home screen, you're scrolling through it. Maybe you navigate over to your About page, you read through that, you go look at your portfolio, scroll through there, make sure your buttons are working along the way. Ultimately, you should land on your contact page where hopefully you have a contact form. You fill that out and then think about what should happen next. Is there an automated email that's supposed to go out? Did it go out? Do you still like what it says? If you look in your CRM, did the right type of job get created to trigger your normal workflow? I want you to go through the entire process thinking of yourself both as a potential client and as a photographer, and make sure it all sounds the way you want it to sound, especially anything that's automated that you may not have looked at in a while. Next, you guessed it, I want you to do this on your mobile site as well. If you're anything like me, you probably like your desktop site a whole lot more than the mobile one, but the fact is a lot of people these days are viewing your site on their cell phone, so you want to make sure that your mobile site gives potential clients a seamless booking experience as well. So you're going to do the same thing there, making sure everything works the way you expect it should. As a bonus to this, if you aren't already using Hotjar, I would recommend looking up that tool and getting it set up on your website. But if you are, now's a good time to be reviewing your heat maps. Your heat maps will basically show you the most common places that visitors are clicking on your website. So you can review the buttons that they're clicking and then check on your website to make sure there's no broken links anywhere along the way to make sure that clients are having a seamless booking experience with you. Task number 3 is to automate any repetitive tasks. I want you to think about your normal workflow. Is there an email you're always sending that you don't have a template for? Or maybe there's a drop-down that you're always changing in your gallery settings that you could make part of a preset. Or maybe in a contract, you're always changing one little spot manually when you could put that as part of a template. Or maybe your overall workflow has just gradually changed over time and now it's time to update that in the back end of your CRM. These little things add up and they take away from your productivity during the peak of a busy season. So now is a good time to think about your big picture workflows and automate what you can. And if you don't have a system that lets you automate, let me know and I would be glad to share with you why I love using Studio Ninja. Okay, task number 4 is one of my favorites. If you don't know this about me, I actually started my career as a high school math teacher, and I still teach one math class at a time just because I love to teach and I'm an educator at heart. So, of course, I'm going to tell you that one of your slow season tasks should be investing in your education. Is there an online course you've been eyeing? Or even better, do you have an online course that you already bought that you haven't finished? It could be photography education, it could be business education, though it honestly doesn't even have to be a course at all. Maybe you are starting an accountability group with a group of photographers who are also committed to growing their business. Or maybe you just commit yourself to shoot for fun once a week. Regardless of what it is, it's a good idea to use your time during slow season to invest in yourself. During busy seasons, it's so easy to just get focused on doing the next task. Edit this session, deliver this gallery, respond to this email, send this contract. And when you're so focused on what the next task is you need to do, you're probably not focusing on what you can be doing to better yourself as a business owner. But in slower seasons, you have some time to yourself, even if it's not a lot. So use it to create better habits, to find new ways to serve your clients, and just to make yourself a better photographer. What I don't want you to do is just sit around and wait for bookings to start coming in and miss out on the opportunity to improve the person who runs your business. Last but not least, let's use some of your downtime to pre-plan social media content. Now, of course, you can't get ahead on your personal content or upcoming shoots, but you can get ahead on client education. I want you to think of a list of questions that your clients are frequently asking you, and then create a post for each of them. So maybe you're always getting asked where we should have a session. So create some posts highlighting your favorite locations. Or maybe you get questions about what to wear or what to do with hair and makeup or how to help a toddler who's not ever had their photos taken before. If you create posts for each of these common questions, then you're going to have some extra content ready to go during the height of busy season. I like to organize this in Trello. I will just make a card for each new post. I'll write the caption for it, and then I'll drag in any images I'm going to want to share as well. And then when it's time for me to post it, I have everything all together ready to go, and I can just copy paste from Trello onto whatever social media platform I'm posting to. Okay, I know I said 5 things, but there is actually a 6th thing that I would love for you to do. If you are a Milspouse photographer and you have been stationed at a base that has not yet been featured on our location guide map, I would love to feature you. If you're not familiar, the Location Guide blog series is a series of blogs written by fellow Milspouse photographers who have been stationed at different bases around the globe. The goal is to help a new Milspouse photographer who's moving to that area with getting their business up and running. So we're talking all about favorite locations to shoot, permits, weird business rules, all the things that someone who has already been in this spot would know so that someone who's on their way can get a little head start on the inside scoop. So I will link the map in the description below. If you see that you have been somewhere that has not yet been posted, please let me know. You can DM me or send me an email, and I would love to send you the information to get a guide submitted. Thanks for watching, friend. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions, you can drop those in the comments below, and I will see you next time.